We made a building in Amsterdam called The Edge, and that was a building where we created a lot of technology, and it became a prototype of a whole new way of working in a smart building. And Edge Olympic learned from all the data coming out of the first Edge, and that building is now, in our eyes, the best building in the world because it integrates so many elements that are important for the user. Sustainability, health, the technology behind it, but also the architecture of the building.
What we basically did is really try to say how can we boost performances of offices, not just on sustainability, which we've been doing for many years, but even more so on the technology side, on the health and well-being side, because we believe that the office of the future needs to be the best possible place for people to perform, and to try to bring those all together in a very integrated user-centered design, meaning that we really want to understand how users experience the building. We don't build buildings which are beautiful from a bird's eye view, but buildings which really feel great when you enter the building and you experience it all day long. I think if people would see Edge Olympic from the outside, very few would actually expect it's not a new built building. It actually was made from an old post office, which was standing here for many years. We used an old structure and built something new around it. It's almost got this kind of chameleon-like outer aluminum skin which changes with the sun shading and the lighting. And on top we put this very clean glass box which kind of, wants to radiate to the outside world and say, hey, we're transparent, come look inside and come see what we're doing.
And once you come in, you immediately have all the openness, you have the void, you can follow the stairs with your eyesight and look up. And you see that it's a place which brings people together, which is all about connectivity. And every floor is different. You have studios on some, open areas where you can work. So it's very stimulating. You feel as if it's a building where everything can happen and everything is possible.
We as Edge Technologies don't just leave a building behind once we handed over the key to the tenant, but we actually stay committed to the building with a service company. So we have a very good collaboration with a company called Epicenter. It requires knowledgeable people which take the owner and the tenant along, especially in the first few years, to have them reap all the benefits from those systems.
Creating sensors in order to make sustainability more efficient was just step one. Step two, and a lot of steps after that, came from all that data analytics that came from that building. Today we know a lot more about the building, we know a lot more what is really happening in the building, and whether that is the way it heats, it cools, it really helps us to make better buildings.
We have an application which actually allows you to change your light settings and your temperature, so you really have personal control and can individually, say, hey, I want this area to be cooler for myself or warmer. We know how occupied certain areas are, so you see, hey, is it really busy in this corner of the building that I don't even have to bother walking there, I can better go to this area. And we're continuously integrating new and additional features to it. What surprises visitors of this building is the huge amount of green and biophilia we have. So the use of plants, and they're all real plants, and they're everywhere throughout the building. And we've done that not just because it's nice to have greenery building, but because we have looked into the psychological effects of nature on human beings and how important that is. The floor of the building, on the ground floor, it's this old natural stone, actually used to be the facade of the old building. So what we did in this project is doing a lot of circular thinking, trying to see how we can reduce material waste. And one example is really to look at the original building and say, hey, what are things that we could reuse and bring to a new life? The top-up is a fully demountable wooden hybrid structure, which means that every single part of it can be reused in a future building. And the entire building has been put into a Madaster, which is a material passport, which basically every single element of the building has been put into a digital twin, so a digital model. And if you take the building apart at some point, you know everything you can take out and how you could potentially reuse it.
The most important things that are going on at Edge Olympic are things that you probably won't even see, or at least you won't take notice of. It's what you don't smell when you walk into the building. No new building smell means better quality materials that are off-gassing less and present an environment that is immediately healthy for the people inside.
We're also looking at lighting, which had to be daylight, but also had to be circadian lighting, which changes over the day. It feels like natural daylight.
You may not take note of the excellent quality acoustics, but you'll notice during your days that you don't have to raise your voice to be heard, but you've got adequate privacy to be able to carry on your conversations.
What I'm really proud about in this building is that it is a culmination of different elements. It's great design, it's health, it's sustainability. It is a technology that enables people to find each other, finding a meeting room or adjusting light or adjusting temperature. But then again, you forget about it because you're just working. What you don't forget about is that if you enter the building, you see a certain energy around you. You see design around you. You see architecture. It's really important to make something that is just beautiful. If you just sit in a corner and you enjoy the view and you enjoy the colors and the atmosphere around you, that you feel at home. That's what we try to create.
The future of workplaces has arrived, and if you're interested in seeing what it looks like, you should take a tour of the Edge Olympic building.